Well, hello friends, Scott from Flat River Keto. If you're new to my channel, welcome. On my channel, you get to come along for the ride on my keto journey. I check in with you at least once a week to update you on my progress and try to check in with you at least one other time during the week to share something with you, usually something that I've learned about the ketogenic lifestyle, but occasionally something that I've learned about this little journey that we call life. Today I'm checking in with you. I'm halfway, I guess a little over halfway, a little less than halfway, through my 7-day keto chow challenge. I wanted to check in with you and kind of let you know how that's going for me. Also wanted to talk with you a little bit about what it has been like to lose a whole person. And finally, drum roll, of course, I wanted to announce the winners of the blueberry pie giveaway. So first, wanted to check in with you guys and let you know how the Keto Chow Challenge is going. So today is the end of day 3, and it has been interesting so far. I think it's been really good for me. It has helped me to tighten things up. I did mention that as part of my Keto Chow Challenge, I'm replacing at least one of my meals during the day with Keto Chow, and then also making sure that I don't snack. That second thing, making sure that I don't snack, has probably been as good for me as even having the Keto Chow. The Keto Chow has been great. Have learned a little bit, of course. I'm a person who really likes to plan things, and of course I've brought every day this week 2 Keto Chows with me to the office. So Keto Chow is my lunch, and if I feel like I need something more, I can have a second one, and or I have it in the evening. The funny thing was, on Monday, which was the first day that I was doing the challenge, I had the 2. I had the one for lunch, and then I came home from work and we hadn't really done our grocery shopping yet for the week. I talked with my wife about what we might do for dinner, and I had the idea of kind of doing breakfast for dinner, eggs and bacon. Well, it turned out we didn't have any of that in the house. Liz got working on something, and long story short, she didn't get to Walmart until like 6 or 6:30, and it took longer than she thought it would, so it was like 7 o'clock before she got home, and I was hungry. I feel like I was about ready to gnaw my arm off, and I was a bit grumpy with her and short with her. I have apologized for that, of course. But I should have just had my second keto chow. I have no idea why I didn't just do that. And I actually texted that to her the next day. I'm like, I don't even know what I was thinking. So I had this great plan, and for whatever reason, I was not working my plan like I should have. So that was one of the first things that I noticed on my challenge, was that I had the plan and didn't do a really great job of working the plan. Other than that, though, it's been going pretty good. It's been really good for me to focus on tightening up and focus on not snacking. The keto chow is great. It's been good. I've been very busy at work this week, so it's been nice to have something really easy in the mornings to go to. And hopefully my relationship with Earth's gravity will start heading in the right direction again. But that's really my update on the challenge. I'm enjoying it. I'm almost halfway through it, and I think it's been a good thing for me. So yeah, so the thing I really wanted to talk with you guys about today, I figured that I wanted to share something other than just updating you on my week so far. And I wanted to share with you what it's been like to lose a whole person. And I actually wrote some notes down, so I'm going to kind of pull them up here in front of me so that I can refer to them. But losing a person, having a small person yet to go, has been an interesting experience for me. There's a lot of things, and I've shared these with you guys, as for those of you who followed along with me on my journey, who've watched several of my videos. There have been a lot of things that I've experienced that aren't things for quote-unquote normal people, or certainly not for normal-sized people, we'll put it that way. There are a lot of things that I've had to think about in my life, and I know that in addition to saying that there are a lot of things that I have to think about, I am also a very sometimes over analytical person, and I know that about myself. So I spend a lot of time thinking about and worrying about things that, again, aren't things for most people. So, like, having lost a person, one of the first things that I thought about was going to restaurants. Now, for those of you who are normal sized and have always been normal sized, you've probably never thought about this, but there was a long time that I could not fit in a restaurant booth. And so I would think a lot about and have a lot of anxiety about often going out to eat, because I had to have a table. I had to have the end of a table. I didn't want the part of a table that was going to, jut out into the rest of the restaurant, because I would be in the way as waitresses would go by. And again, I just wouldn't fit in booths at most restaurants. So that was a big source of anxiety for me when we would go out as a family, especially when we would go on vacation, like with my wife's family. I just would be like, I would get panicky like in the middle of the afternoon, knowing that we were going to go to a restaurant, thinking, where am I going to sit? They're going to have a table available. My wife was great. She'd always ask for the table. But so having lost a person, I don't worry about that anymore. As a matter of fact, I know that I've mentioned on a couple of my videos, but I I don't want to forget those things, but I've started to forget them, and I'll be like sitting at a table at a restaurant. Or I remember, and I know I've told you guys this before. I shared this in another video, but I remember being at a Texas Roadhouse, and they sat us at a booth, and I realized that I didn't even think about it. The rest of my family went to the booth. I had to go use the restroom, and I didn't even think about it. Like I came in, I sat down, and I was like, I was sitting there at the table, and all of a sudden I was like, wow. I didn't even worry about whether I was going to fit at the booth. I just knew that I was going to. So that's kind of one of the cool things about having lost an entire person. The next thing that I put on my list was being able to go to concerts or just attending events in general. I actually wrote down, like at the high school, my kids, there's a performing arts center. My son is in band and used to be in choir, and I wouldn't fit in the seats at the concerts. And also going to concerts at other places. We went to a couple of concerts during the holiday season this year, and just the fact that I didn't have to worry about whether or not I was going to fit in the seats. And I know I mentioned this to you guys in a previous video when I actually talked about going to the concerts, that I actually saw a couple of people who are currently where I used to be. And I knew, and I just felt for those people, because I knew inside me exactly what it felt like to be that person who didn't fit in the seat. And I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but because I wouldn't fit in the seat, my hips really basically would not fit in the seat. I would end up sitting on the end of the seat, which, although I'm not very tall, would then put my legs all the way at the end of the aisle, so to speak. I'm butting up as if I were like 6.5 feet tall or something. One thing I am not is very tall. But I got to experience what that must be like for those of you who just are tall, because I wouldn't actually sit to the back of the seat because I couldn't fit back into the seat. So that was another really, really interesting thing about having lost an entire person, is that I don't worry about that anymore. And that's something that I can do, easily. The next thing I thought of about having lost an entire person was going out and doing things with Liz, with my wife. And what I mean is just everyday things, not going on trips and that kind of thing. That's all great. But what I was actually thinking about was I had gotten to the point where I would not leave the house unless I had to. Like if Liz needed to go to the store, it was just assumed that I wasn't going. And what made me actually think about that today was that Liz needed to go to the store last night for a couple of things for school. She needed to go to Hobby Lobby, and she needed to go to Walmart. And this time of year, especially when I'm particularly busy at work, we don't spend a whole ton of time together. It doesn't feel like. And so even just going to the store is really fun, quality time that we get to spend together just hanging out. And I'm really grateful, having lost an entire person, that I am physically able to go walk around the store with my wife and spend time with my wife in that way. Again, it's one of those things that if you haven't ever been morbidly obese like I was, you probably never even thought about that. But it had gotten to the point for me where it wasn't really physically possible for me to spend much time walking around. And I certainly, if I did it, it was sort of like if you're thinking about like doing a really hard workout, you're trying to talk yourself into going. That's what it had gotten to be for me, to just go out and literally leave the house with my wife. I had to like really kind of like, okay, get up for this. And then I would just be exhausted when I got home. So that's another wonderful, great benefit of having lost an entire person. The next thing that I thought of was going on vacation. And I know this kind of seems silly to you, probably, but for those of you who've never been morbidly obese, you probably didn't even think about all these things about going on vacation that used to just give me so much anxiety. My wife's family goes on vacation every summer as a family, her whole family, all of her siblings and their kids and her dad, and it's a great time. You guys, if you followed along on my videos, you've heard about a couple of trips that I've taken, and it's been a lot of fun. Having said that, there was so much about vacationing that just gave me so much anxiety. Whether it was the airplane seats, not fitting in the airplane seats, needing a seatbelt extender, rental cars, shuttles. Again, I already mentioned going to restaurants while we were there. having lost an entire person, I've actually thought about going on vacation this summer. And this was actually true for going on vacation this past summer, but going on vacation this summer and not worrying about whether or not I'm going to fit in the airline seat, and not worrying about how much space I'm going to take up in the car, in the shuttle. If we have to, like, squeeze in or whatever to fit into a car to get to or from the airport, I'm just not worried about it. And that is a pretty amazing feeling. Finally, you guys are really going to think this one is funny if you've never been morbidly obese, but being able to tie my own shoes or boots. Went sledding with my daughter on Saturday, and I thought about that as I was getting ready. It just had this flashback to probably 18 months ago when I was getting ready to go hunting, and I literally had to have my wife wake up with me at dark 30 to help me tie my boots because I couldn't do it myself. And how, once again, that just wasn't a thing. Having finally lost a person, I don't have a person in front of me in the way anymore, actually able to bend over and tie my shoes and or my boots. And that is a fantastic thing about having lost an entire person. Before I become absolutely ridiculously long-winded, I did want to share a couple of things that are a little bit, I will say, not totally negative, but a little bit negative about having lost an entire person. The first one is that I am still pretty big. Nobody is saying that me at 5'9.5", not quite 5'10", 298, 299 pounds, that I am in good shape. No one would say that. And so one of the things that's really tough and can be super frustrating for me at this particular point is that people don't know where I started. And it's entirely possible that because people don't know where I started, they might think that I'm at my biggest. And, the comments that people make, the rude comments, the looks, the gestures, whatever you want to call them, they hurt more in some way because I've done so much work to get to where I am, that when somebody says something, hey there, big guy, or whatever, it's a lot harder because I've done a lot of work, but I know that I have a long ways to go. So that is one thing that's kind of, again, not exactly a direct negative to having lost a whole person, having lost 180 pounds, but it's one of those things that is just, it's kind of tough right now being in the middle, so to speak. I guess I'm on the downward, the back half of my journey from a relationship with Earth's gravity, but that is just one of those things that it doesn't happen a lot, but when it does happen, it's particularly frustrating. The last thing, and this is not a humble brag, I promise, but is having to get new clothes all the time. It's a great problem to have. I am not complaining about having to get new clothes all the time. Having said that, I'm constantly needing to go through my wardrobe because I'm realizing that, oh my goodness, these things are too big. Oh, these things are too big. Oh, this is too big. And I do have a lot of clothes that I saved from times when I've actually been skinnier, which is great. I've been able to go through those boxes, but not all of it keeps real good. As I mentioned to you guys, I had a shirt from 27 years ago that I wore the other day, which was kind of great. But having to constantly update my wardrobe has been a bit frustrating. So anyway, I got a little long-winded there, but those are some interesting things about having lost an entire person. Now, the moment that you've all been waiting for, the dozens of you who commented on my video. Actually, there were definitely more comments than I usually get, so thank you for that. But again, I've partnered with Keto Chow, and they've given me the opportunity to do a giveaway. I was going to have a laptop here with me that my wife usually brings home from school, but she did not bring it home today, so I had to have her and my daughter go be the witnesses for me as I used the random comment generator to pick the winners of the giveaway. Again, the winners will receive 3 packets of the blueberry keto chow, which is 3 individual servings of the blueberry keto chow. And what I will do is respond to your comments, your winning comments, and you will want to contact me at platriverketo@gmail.com, and I will actually leave that in my comment to you. You want to give me your full name, your address, and of course your email address, which I imagine you're going to give to me whether you'd like to or not, because you're going to need to email me as a winner. The first winner was Susan Marquez. And Susan's comment was, so far I like the chocolate toffee the best. So Susan, you now have the opportunity to try blueberry pie keto chow. So like I said, I will be commenting on your comments, but if you are watching this, you obviously don't even need to go to that. You can just email me at platriverketo@gmail.com with your name, address, and that's what I need. Second winner was Susan B. Apparently, we like the Susans. Second winner was Susan B16. And Susan said, I've never tried the blueberry pie. Well, Susan, you get to try the blueberry pie. So, apparently, being a Susan was the opportunity to win this time. So, congratulations to both Susans. Susan B16, if you would reach out to me at plotriverketo@gmail.com. Again, I will be commenting on your comment with that information, but reach out to me with your first and last name, your address, and of course your email address. And congratulations to both of you. Thank you guys for having a little bit of fun with me and being involved in the giveaway. Like I said, this is new for me, so it was a little bit different, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the opportunity to work with Keto Chow. I have enjoyed the blueberry pie already once, and I know that before the end of the week, I will be enjoying the blueberry pie Keto Chow as ice cream. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed this today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so. Hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified the next time that I update you. I will be updating you my regular update on Saturday to check my relationship with Earth's gravity, and I will update you at the end of my challenge. The end of my challenge will actually be Sunday night, so I'll either post something, update you Sunday evening, or possibly Monday morning, depending on how things go. But yeah, remember guys, there is no secret ingredient. Keep calm and keto on, and we'll talk to you guys soon.